Welcome once again to the Reading Room, the companion YouTube show to the Comic Shop Podcast.
Wow.
I know! It's the first time for everything, isn't it? Scot's referencing my inability to get it through an intro without tripping over my own words.
Yes.
Which has pretty much become a trope on both this show and the podcast.
Yes.
Today is Sunday, June 11th,
Yes.
2017. We're going to dive right first up, straight right off the top, and we're going to talk about this more in depth on the podcast. A huge in memoriam, rest in peace, Mr. Adam West passed away.
Everybody's screened first Batman.
Pretty much everybody. There are very few people alive today for whom that wasn't their first screen Batman. I'm sure there's a couple of guys kicking around and gals kicking around that saw the serials in the movie theaters, but for the bulk of the population, he was the first time you saw the Dark Knight. He liked to call it the Bright Knight.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of that show.
The campiness.
And as people go on, they glom on to different. Like I consider my Batman is Kevin Conroy, but he's everybody's first Batman, and for a lot of people, he remains their Batman.
Right.
So he passed away. He's 88 years old. He had a full, long life. Knew how to embrace his stature in geek and pop culture, and his role as an ambassador for geek and pop culture, and his ability to connect with the fans, and poke fun at himself. Had excellent sense of humor, excellent sense of comic timing, especially when we talked about doing his voiceover work on like Family Guy.
Family Guy, yeah.
So anyway, very quickly, we will talk. I'm sure we will, with the three of us, we'll do a round table about Adam West. On the podcast, which we're going to be recording right after this. So, wanted to get to that. Also wanted to say thank you, Charles, for following up. He confirmed that I was right about X-O Man-O-War, a continuation. You read those books.
Wow.
You like those books.
Yes, I did. They're very good.
They're good books.
I want to find more.
Right. All right, so let's dive right into today. Who's going first?
You go.
I'm going first. Okay, topical. I promised last week it was going to be something topical. Look, very topical. What I did for this week's episode of The Reading Room was I went out and got the most recent 4 issues of Wonder Woman. I bought everything they had on the racks at my local brick and mortar for current issues. I was thinking about going backstories, thinking about going collected. I says, no. I want to know what's going on with this character right now in DC. This is all part of Rebirth after the death of the New 52 universe. And because we are going to talk about the movie.
Oh boy.
And spoilery review the movie Wonder Woman on the podcast immediately after we record this. So I said, you know what? Everyone's talking about the character. I want to talk about the character. So this is, like I said, the most recent run, and we've got Greg Rucka is the writer on all of this. We go through different
probably different artists,
different pencilers, different inks throughout the course of this. But Greg Rucka is writing the story. The art really does remain relatively consistent. You got different things, but it doesn't vary. The art is straight up my alley. Once again, it is comic book. I like this panel right here. I like this panel right here. It's comic book, but it's not stylized comic book. It's very what's the word? Contemporary, as far as like people have style. This is look at that panel.
That is hot.
Cersei. That is nice. A splash page. You know me. I'm going to do the overlays. So anyway, the story is compelling. We've got Cersei in this. We've got Veronica Cale in this. We've got Ares figures prominently. This one here, I happen to get this cover.
Is it a variant?
There is a variant cover for this, but I don't know if this is the variant, or this was on their racks. So it probably
variant wouldn't have the barcode.
Right. This is not a variant cover, but this happens to be the conclusion of one of the story arcs that they're going through right now. And there you go, right in the back. The back of all of these, they've had interviews with Connie Nielsen, interviews with Gal Gadot, stuff like that. So they were leading up to the movie in this. Deimos and his brother, Sons of Ares. Anyway, this is it was very compelling, very human, very emotion is extremely front and center, which a lot of times you'll find with Wonder Woman, which is not a problem. Even though it's talked about in the movie, some of the themes of the movie. Emotion is front and center. People's personal experiences are front and center. This one right here is after her long-lost daughter. Veronica Cale figures prominently her search for her long-lost daughter. And it's all very, what's the word I'm looking for? It fits. The way the story is being told fits the characterization of the character that we're getting with the movie and the way the characters hopefully will be fitting into the DC movie universe. The covers are great. The art is great. The writing is top-notch. They don't go over the top of the dialogue. Every word counts in this. I noticed this about these books, is that there is a fair amount of dialogue, but most of the balloons are short, like 7-8 words max.
It's not super wordy.
Every single word counts.
That
I know.
page.
Yeah.
We're going to put that one up.
They do wonders. I like how this is all the theme of the colors in this one. Like very muted, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's just
Good stuff.
I specifically wanted to talk about this. I recommend this. I start with issue 20. I am considering going back. I'm going to have to go digital with this one. If I decide I want to go back, pick this up at the Rebirth run of Wonder Woman at #1, which I may do. I'm going to have to do it digitally because it's just not within my budget to buy another 19 issues, back issues. Though having the physical copies is always.
That's my cup.
I'm saying. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna talk to you too much about the story. I started with issue 20. Issue 23 is what?
Just a 4-issue arc?
No. It picks up 2 arcs. There's 2 arcs going on at the same time.
Oh.
One is called Truth and one is called Godwatch. And these 4 issues are actually kind of out of order. Like 21 happens in the continuity, I think, after 22, which got me a little bit confused. But there's 2 arcs going on in here. The Truth arc concludes in issue 23. So this is an excellent place to start. This is there. If you have a brick and mortar and you saw the movie and you're loving the character and it's like, I wonder what's going on in here, and I want to check out a different book, and you haven't seen anything from the Rebirth version of Wonder Woman, go there and buy what they have on the rack now, because it's definitely worth it. Like Stan Lee always says, everybody's comic book is somebody's first. Every comic book is somebody's first comic book. And so for issue 20 being my first experience to the new run of Wonder Woman, I was completely satisfied. I did no regrets whatsoever in picking these up. I read these straight through, like cover to cover, boom, 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 because it was compelling and the art was wonderful. And I have a great respect for the character right now, as everybody should.
Right after seeing that movie.
Right after seeing that movie. Whoa. If you haven't listened to the most recent issue of the podcast, issue 82 is going to be, you should go back and listen to that. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I don't know what we're going to say about the movie.
But I
know it's going to be good. Hey. All right. I am done yapping my fish lips about Wonder Woman. You go right ahead. I'm going to enjoy a cool
I only
refreshing
brought 3 little books this week.
3 little books.
3 little books.
Little is a figurative term.
However, Amazing Spider-Man number 38, the cover art is brilliant. Highly emotional, charged issue. It's like Aunt May found out that Peter was Spider-Man. And this whole thing is the conversation that happens at Peter's apartment when she comes and confronts him about it.
Now, the whole issue is the conversation.
Pretty much. There's no action.
That is a really bold choice, but if you can back it up, if you can back it up, there you go.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And Spider-Man's a character that you can back up that.
Yeah. There's
not even cerebral, but the emotional punch.
There's been emotional stuff tied to Peter Parker forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, beginning with what they talk about here is the death of Uncle Ben.
Right.
And Peter, after...
Wait, spoilers?
Spoilers? Okay. What they talk about here is after she confronts him and says, yeah, I know, you've been lying, and I know you're Spider-Man. And he's like, well, I gotta tell you why. He said, well, I can't, because it'll kill you. She's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, there was this burglar, and I let him go, and that he's the guy who killed Uncle Ben. She's like, so you thought all this time it was your fault? And he was like, yeah. She's like, well, it wasn't. We had an argument that day, and he went for a walk, and I never seen him again. So this whole time, both of them have been carrying the burden on their own shoulders. And this conversation goes way beyond that. I mean, it's really good.
That's... A lot of people talk about the death of Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Yeah.
But the death of Uncle Ben as an origin story, as hero,
It's just
as heroism born out
concrete.
of tragedy. It is just as poignant, especially when you consider he's an orphan to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very good. Also brought up, me being a Marvel guy, this is kind of a weird thing, but 2 issues of Green Lantern. Kyle Rayner being the Green Lantern. But
This is
very powerful.
I've never read like this specifically this first book, but knowing what I do about comics and the history of characters, I'm familiar with this storyline. You might be too, because this one kind of made some waves.
Yeah, well, it falls into, 8, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Kyle's got 2 friends that are homosexual, and they're out clubbing and having a good time, and they try to walk home, and one of them gets beat near to death. Well, Kyle is kind of a fledgling superhero at this point. This is after he had the powers of Ion. I don't know if you know what that is or not.
I don't know.
It was a big, huge thing where he was like near a god,
Okay.
and he had to give the powers up. But he breaks into Rikers Island and pretty much tortures this guy. One of the guys that did it to him, like badly. I mean, yeah,
I guess so.
yeah.
I guess so.
Well, this is the guy that they got.
Oh,
that
that's
beat up.
that's the
He's
one.
in the coma in the
That's
hospital.
Yeah.
But at the end of that one, you're like, wow. And then you pick up this one, and this has got the Spectre. This is Hal Jordan being the Spectre.
Another very, very interesting character, the
Yeah.
Spectre.
But he's
has Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan is the Spectre in this.
Is this immediately after in the same run?
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
next issue.
Okay.
151.
Okay.
But this is great. He's trying to talk Barry into going back in time and writing this wrong.
Yeah.
And Barry's like, where is it? I can't remember the exact wording. No, I won't do it. I won't use the cosmic treadmill to go back in time. Why not? For a few hundred reasons, you know every one of them.
And anybody that maybe watches the TV show The Flash right now on the CW knows every single one of them.
Yeah, bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, he gets heated and he starts yelling at Barry, and then Batman shows up. It's more powerful than funny, but it's kind of funny when you read these panels. Where to go? We can't pick and choose who we dart back through time to help. We got to go forward. We'll stop the next time. That's your answer? Prince of Darkness? Vengeful Dark Knight? Puts his own 2 cents into it and amounts to better luck next time? I was like, wow.
That's actually some pretty good writing.
Yeah.
And you know what? That nails the character of Kyle Rayner.
It does.
He's I mean, you got different all the different Green Lanterns have some different personas, and Kyle Rayner.
And there he has this conversation with the Spectre. And that ends up being really cool. Because at the end of it, he's like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what I should do. And Hal's like, well, you gave up the power of Ion and you did all this good stuff. I can't remember. I'm not going to explain it all. But he's like, well, I can't tell you what to do. He says, but I can send you back to the hospital. There's good news waiting. And then his friend wakes up.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah, I remember this made some minor
It made some
headlines
waves.
About its treatment of the material and its treatment about like the cultural thing that we had.
They were
going on.
addressing hate crime.
Right, because I'm not sure, but I think that happened like not too long. I think they put this issue out maybe not too long after the Matthew Shepard thing out in Wyoming. And I wonder if
2002.
Yeah, Matthew, pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, in the comments. But I think this might have been kind of a reaction by the writers to that horrific thing that happened.
I don't know, I thought it was really charged.
It is.
It was powerful stuff.
Nice. A lot of gravitas today on the see. Hey, I didn't screw up the intro.
Nope.
All right, so that's it for the reading room this year. We've got a little bit of taste of Marvel, whole bunch of excellent DC stuff this time, and I have absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about next week.
Neither do I.
Neither
We'll
do I.
find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out next time on the reading room. This is Scott.
I am.
I am Eric. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Facebook.com/theComicShop1. I will hyperlink in the description to the Facebook page for the Comic Shop. What's that?
Hyperlink.
Yeah. I don't even know why I said that. I feel like such a dork.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, to make short story long, as is my wont, there you go. Let us know. Let us know if you want to have specific books that you want to talk about. Recommendations for books to talk about.
Feedback.
Worked with Charles. We got Exo-Man of War up in this piece. If there's anything, single issues, story arcs, even if it comes down to, if you say, take a look at, for instance, when George Perez had his run on Wonder Woman, if something like that, or if you want us to talk about a classic like Dark Knight Returns or something like that.
Oh man,
I know. Something like that. Let us know. Let us know if there's something you'd like to talk about, and then you can join the conversation in the comments over on the Facebook page. Anyway, I'm done talking now.
Okay, we
at
can
least for
wrap
about
this
10 or
up.
15 minutes. We'll wrap this up for June 11th, 2017. This has been the Reading Room. Scott, Eric, see ya.
Later.